You killed my daughter. I
No.
think.
There we go.
No, no.
Yosh.
So one of
No.
Sonic's dying lines in Sonic Adventure is just to go, no.
Oh, I'm sorry. You get to live, Sonic.
Sorry, I've already shot you, Sonic.
All
Didn't
right.
realize you didn't want that.
I now feel a bit awkward.
So last we left off, some shit went down.
Yeah.
Uh, it was the day of the final circus performance. Randall was sing for a crowd, lead the crowd in song, and you were all sitting there prepared for something to go wrong because of the divine wisdom you had received. And what eventually wound up happening was their mysterious helper that the circus had revealed himself to be Ryu, a man from Heroes Past who had been thought dead after being sucked up into the void during an accident training. But he was alive and wielding strange powers, now ready to take Dominica's soul magic and coalesce it for himself. Uh, Hero intervened and caused a big kerfuffle, which allowed Ryu to create a crystallized power, to use it with the void, and threatened to use it to cause untold chaos. But then the crystal, several through a fight and a bunch of different happenstance, the crystal happened to be was managed to get broken after. Well, first it was going to explode, but then Felina transported it. Used Felina, Scott, and Kochi used their rings to power it up together to go to the void and lock it in there, where they were stuck for a while, and then Ryu, Angelo, and Hiro wound up teaming up just to go find them for a bit. And then when they found it, Ryu brought them all back, including the crystal, which then shattered and spread out across the land. And went in, I believe it was 5 different directions. Or well, yeah, he
I
had
think
one
so.
piece. He had one piece of it. He exited out of there using his void powers, threatening that he was going to go to Hero's home island and wreak havoc there. And then the other 4 pieces of the crystal were spread out in different directions. One in Terrebonne, one in the Cypress jungle, one over by the Thames sinkhole, one over in the mountains around Emberwell, and another over in the desert. And so, after regrouping after that incident, you and the circus people decided to split up and go after the different parts of the crystal. You guys are going to the jungle to seek that crystal, while 3 other teams are going to the others. And to do that, you requisitioned a horse and carriage to take you along the route from Marion, Tarrant, to Regents, to Seneca, down here, following this road all the way Parabon. And that was where we left off.
Set now.
Yep. So, yeah, the horse and carriage sets out. You're the 6 of you because Kochi's staying in Marion, so it's you guys plus Sylvana, Randall, and Scott are sitting in this carriage as the horse is being while you're being ridden across this very patchwork road. Uh, what do you? Let's catch up with us there. Where are we at? What's our feeling?
Is there anything different just generally in the world after this event, or does it seem business as usual despite everything?
It seems business as usual. Remember, Domenico warned that where the crystals landed, there would no doubt whoever had it would be driven to produce chaos by the wild magic within.
But that's got a very limited. That's limited to the area around it.
Yeah, the area around it, wherever they landed. So right now you're in a clear zone.
Okay. Yeah, I think Angelo is just kind of sitting very. He's kind of like, well, we're all sat in the carriage, but Angelo's kind of getting out, pacing around. He's quite impatient to kind of get things moving.
Yeah.
Like, still
Is
on
he
a bit of a
pacing
high.
around or flying around?
He's pacing.
Ooh, interesting.
He's not he's not flying. He's not making a thing of it. I think he wants the kind of tactile feeling of the world under his feet right now.
Ooh, that's nice. For the first part of the trip, Helena definitely has some stuff to talk on the road here. But just for the first stretch or so, she's busy sort of hugging Randall. They were being just
Right.
kind of cuddly at first. She was worried she was gonna lose him. And for the first few miles or so, she's just kind of happy to have him back.
Mm-hmm. And what about Hero?
Well, the hero is, he's not talking much. He's
Yeah.
visibly anxious. Visibly, many things conflicted. With reason, he's obviously worried. He tries to brush it off, but he's obviously worried for his family.
Yeah.
Very obviously.
So if no one else has any business to discuss, though, at some point Felina does have some to bring up once she's gotten past the whole glad to have the boy alive phase of it, unless someone else has something they want to address first.
Not really.
No.
Angelo's.
I think
There
everyone
is
is happy
something on
that.
Angelo's mind, but he is kind of keeping it to himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone's happy that Randall is alive.
Yeah. So I'm sure Scott is. But so yeah, at some point after have gotten past the initial nuzzling purry stage and just has been kind of sitting there for a while, Felina's mood has kind of changed from that very again purry mood to a bit more just contemplative sitting before finally just breaking the silence. So looks at Hero. Anything you have want to talk about how that went?
Well, Hero just looks at her and just goes, well, he
Felina,
thinks a bit and is,
Not to
No.
get ahead of you, but if you're going to be accusatory, I don't think now is the time.
yeah,
Not accusatory, just curious, I guess. Feel like there's, some stuff might want to talk about, and I'm curious for information. And just to know where your head is in all this, I guess.
there's I mean, Felina, how would you feel? Nah, I don't wanna.
No.
I don't-
By
Go
all
ahead.
means, go on.
I mean, how would you feel if the guy you fought, your friend who you fought because of your friend who
You had failed
effectively
to save.
died, failed to save, came back, and being that angry at you while also causing this much trouble and then going after your family?
Wait, so again to clarify, did we know in character like who Ryu was, or is
I
this
guess
like
no,
new
no,
to us? I was
no.
gonna say because I
You
think this
you
is
kind of found out, Felina, because you were in his head.
Yeah,
true, but like we hadn't talked about this
We hadn't
before.
Yeah.
talked about this, but
Yeah.
you do. You do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know.
Felina's like so about the friend or anything. I mean, not something we've ever really talked about before.
I had no reason to bring it up. I didn't want to bring him up.
That's understandable.
I guess the cat's out of the bag now.
That's offensive.
Shut up.
No.
Now, not to dig into it, but we kind of must. Is there anything you know about him that would help us?
Well,
Not that I'm gonna guess he's similar to the man you once knew in his current state.
well, no. We used to be best of friends. He was always a bit. He was talented in most things. He was really good. I had to train hard to keep up with him. But yeah,
A prodigy.
he was always a bit overconfident. And looking back, that was ended up being his downfall. He really
How
thought he
so?
could. Well, to make a long story short, he attempted when we were young. I think he must have overheard that my grandfather wanted me to take over. Even though Ryu was always better than me, my grandfather always felt that Ryu would be a poor master of the school, and I guess that drove him to train even harder. Except he ended up doing a forbidden jump, a big slipstream, long before any of us were ready for it. The thing is, if you do not know what you're doing, you can get lost in the void, which he did.
So
He told
he was trying to impress your granddad.
his last words was like, I'll go beyond even you, old man." And
He
yeah,
took a gamble.
he did, and it didn't pay off. I could have stopped him. I knew. He told me. Like, I found out that he was doing this, but I didn't stop him. I thought he could have, because I thought it was just a thing. I didn't think he would actually do it. I never did end up telling my grandfather about it.
Did no one find out? Did he just, to the rest of the village, did he just as well disappear?
No, my grandfather told everyone that they knew that he was gone. People people yeah, people were sad, but everyone knew it was his own fault. His own fault doing it. He's
Well, I guess his gamble paid off for him in the long term.
Would you call this it paying off?
I think he would.
I don't know,
Well.
Felina. The man has been suffering in the void for several years. That's not something I would call paying off. The
Besides,
void is full of dark creatures, and I can't imagine what unimaginable suffering he had to endure.
I don't think it would be fair to call him anything like the person you once knew after something like that.
Yeah, I guess, but I hate seeing him like this. I feel it's part of my fault for not stopping him. Now it's gonna now it's gonna be now that is gonna cause my family to suffer,
Hero,
and
it's
even more
not
people.
your fault what decision he made to do. It's not your responsibility to decide. I'm not saying, things might have gone better or worse for him or for other people if you had intervened, but you shouldn't feel guilty for not overriding his decisions about his own life.
I guess you're right, Felina, but
You said he was overconfident. You said you knew and could have stopped it. But could you have really?
I think I could have. I could have told him. I could have prevented him.
If he was as clever or as talented, he knew the risks.
Yeah.
Besides, that's all in the past.
Elena
What matters
kinda
now
makes
is
it-
what we do.
I want to just, when you say he knew the risks, Felina kind of makes a little, like, half eye roll, half shrug little face at that he knew the risks. Like, she doesn't speak up, but she clearly, thinks that's
Does Angelo catch that, or
if he, that's
yeah,
up to
okay,
you.
yeah. Angelo kind of
Technically.
turns and just what?
You never fully know the risks. I don't think it mattered if he knew the risks or not. I mean, gambling, if you truly completely understand, if you know everything, then it's not gambling anymore. And that's everything.
I'm trying to pick Hero up right now, Felina, not argue the semantics.
No, my point being is it's not about semantics. It's even if someone doesn't know the risks, it's still their call to make.
I see.
Yeah.
And going on from that, what matters now is the choice you make. Not that matters, I know what you'll do. We're going to go.
Yeah,
we're going to put a stop to this, and your family's going to be all right. We'll make sure of that.
Thanks, Angelo. I guess I needed to hear that, but yeah, it's gonna be a while.
Just
Hopefully
bear
they
it in
can.
mind. You have a family worth fighting for.
Takes a moment because he remembers. He does remember how Keith Lombard was to him, and like, yeah, no, I guess
do you
I
think
do.
that was subconscious?
Yeah. No, like, he takes a moment and, grabs Angelo's shoulder. I don't know, grabs him by, I don't know, what is a good friendly maneuver? I don't know. He grabs him by the shoulder.
I think you had it on shoulder.
Yeah. They grab each other's shoulder. Yeah. You're right, Angelo. Here you go, Felina. Boys touching.
Angelo kind of, when you say it, Angelo kind of grabs your hand, just moves it away.
Oh no, Hero didn't say boys
okay.
touching, but I said that out of character.
I see.
To
Angelo
Felina.
senses that he said that out of character.
Hero didn't say that to Felina. Swede said that to Felina.
Yeah.
Anyway, you'll have. It's no sense regretting right this moment.
Yeah. Well, we have to focus anyway. We have to fix this as soon as possible.
And hey, if you want to talk about, looking back or regrets or not, you should be happy. You made the right call with your gamble.
I guess I did.
Didn't know if you being there or not would help. It was a possibility. That was your choice to make, whether you would be there or stay in the realm of madness. And you chose to go, even though could have made things worse, but it didn't. You won. You didn't know the full risks. You didn't know exactly what would happen. Took a gamble. Paid off.
Man.
Celebrate that. That's a big deal.
Man, Felina, I think that might be the nicest thing you've ever said to me so far.
Really? Huh.
Yes.
Interesting you would think that.
Yeah, no, I was fully expecting you to start talking about how I fucked up and, was my own fault, and then you would scold me and then laugh at me, and then, I don't know.
Hero, if you had fucked up that call, I'd be doing a lot worse than scolding.
Yeah, no, that's a Felina. I know. Well, at least Randall is
if you fucked up that call, this conversation wouldn't be happening right now.
That's probably.
No, I think she would have strangled me because Randall would be dead.
would you have marched into the realm of chaos to strangle him over this? Actually, don't answer that. That's a terrible question.
Randall has powerful girlfriend.
No, Felina says no, of course not, and then just like internal monologue, like I would strangle someone to kill them.
There are far more effective ways.
I have a thought. Sylvana pipes up.
Do you? I
Felina,
was wondering if you did.
you
Angelo
did
turn.
something to him. He reacted to something you did with quite a bit of shock. What exactly was it?
Something I tried to do. Cut
And
him off
that
from
was
the slipstream.
One nutty?
Don't know how much that backfired or not.
Cut
Like,
him off on
you
a
know,
slipstream.
Hero, or like he did, I took a bit of a
How-
gamble. I didn't know the full things, but
How do you cut something off the slipstream?
It's
I
actually, I
assume you
don't think
don't want a
Angelo understands that
demonstration.
power.
Yeah, just what are you capable of?
Hero feels a bit worried of what Felina might be capable of.
Are you capable of slicing metaphysical concepts?
That
At question, just what are you capable of? And Felina just sort of goes, ask myself that every day.
Hero shocked face, thinking, "Oh good God, Felina might be even more dangerous than I anticipated."
Meanwhile, Angelo just kind of rolls his eyes at that line.
See, I like how it's a sort of double entendre with, like, she's expanding and discovering her powers and testing their limits, but it's also like, what are you capable of,
Hmm.
Oh, by the way, for record, cutting off metaphysical concept. Yeah, Keith Lombard used to do that. He found it beneath him.
How does that even work? It's not. Felina doesn't have a complex with Kate
Oh
Lombard.
no! Oh no, Keith Lombard is just better than all of us. He can slipstream too. He just doesn't do it because he it's beneath him.
Yeah, tossers use that.
Yeah, like
If you can float
Why
everywhere,
slipstream?
why would you teleport? No one can see you teleport. It's not impressive. People see
Exactly.
you float somewhere,
Good
everyone
point.
knows. Like, that fucker can float.
Also, wait, so is this actually the first time, like, other people have sort of asked about or, like, started to understand this aspect of Felina's
I
powers?
can't
Is this
remember because
news
it's
to
been
people?
ages between
Yeah, no, I think
sessions, but I think
Yeah.
at first Angelo was curious, but didn't pry too much, but
Yeah, well, the previous display of this was in the mist,
yeah.
I think.
It's been a
Hasn't been
while.
that
It's not done
cutting.
as too much.
Yeah.
a cat so
So,
clever.
so you've got that in the mist, and you've just been sitting. Well, you pulled it out at the right time, but cutting someone off from the slipstream.
Yeah, that's it.
Hero, how? Forgive my ignorance on this, but how does your magic function? Are you born with it? Is it innate? Are you trained in it?
Hmm.
Mine comes from my bloodline. So
Yeah.
if
Well,
if I was cut
mine,
off from
I-
my powers, Angelo kind of looks at Felina with that would be a mixed blessing. Given
Yeah,
everything.
Felina kind of, like, raises her eyebrows in thought at that, like, how would that work with Angelo? How would that affect Angelo?
Would I-
Emotionally, spiritually.
I was and physiologically with
Yeah,
part of his
true.
bloodline. That's
Yeah.
Imagine how
Well-
much it would fuck up his hair.
just
Oh,
all
no!
collapse.
Poof. Well,
If I was cut off from that, then I don't even know that my body would function, quite honestly. But with what you've
Well-
got,
yeah. Well, to explain it, basically, I think you don't have to come from a specific bloodline, but you do get born with. Not everyone could learn of this slipstream because you do need a certain aptitude to sense it all around you. Basically, imagine slipstream is a series of tunnels.
It's a
It
series of
exists.
tubes.
It exists everywhere around you. It
You just have
connects
to
place to
be
place.
you just have to be keyed into being able to notice and manipulate them.
Exactly. Imagine me. I'm essentially opening holes and traveling through them.
So, say that Felina cut you off from the slipstream. Would that be like just severing a sense? Could it be regained?
Yeah.
Or
It would be a severing a sense, yes. Unless he does even worse and separate him from the actual. Yeah, no, there would be. Yeah, there would be. Yeah, it would be something like that. So just cutting off a sense. It's like how removing your sense of smell.
Could do that.
Please don't.
I didn't say I'm going to.
Actually, here's a question: would Felina, if she ever entered an area where it really stinked, like really, like you couldn't like
still a
isolate, you
very
couldn't
gross
wear,
question.
yeah, like just I don't know, it's just an area full of horse manure or something. Would she cut herself off for her sense of smell?
Is that an in-character question or out-of-character question, actually?
Out of character.
Out of character, no, absolutely not. Sense of smell is way too important to Felina. She uses her sense
Okay.
of smell a
Now I
lot.
just imagine like she would do it and then she realizes what she has done.
Also, can severed things be rebound?
I have no idea. That's something you would have to ask Felina.
That's why
Again,
I'm
is
asking.
that
Felina.
out of character or in character?
That's out of character.
Uh, kinda, probably, yeah.
Okay, but anyway.
Well, now we know at least that Felina is way more dangerous than we thought.
Felina does say, I'm not really sure what I can do with that yet, but it's interesting to test out, but
Well, it's a
Severed.
horrifying form of magic, and frankly, the kind I never thought I would see. And, well, forgive me for putting it this way, but it couldn't have wound up with a stranger person.
Yeah.
It suits you down to the ground, but
well,
frankly,
thank you.
I'm terrified that. Actually, no, I'm not. It's quite good it wound up with you.
Yeah, no, and they
Angela
have
says that, and
some
he kind of looks away in this really kind of snotty way. Like,
Have I
someone
ever
could have
told
done a
you how
lot
I
of
did-
damage with that power. It's good that it wound up with someone who is not unambitious, just, you know,
rather
Unambitious is fair, I think.
yeah, oh, I don't know. Angela's just like, just realizing that this power could have gone into way worse hands. The universe is actually in pretty good hands with that.
Do you know how I got my powers?
No.
No,
I always was curious.
I believe your
Best way
mother
to
told me
say
a little.
curiosity is by asking.
I believe your mother told me a little bit about it, but I didn't wish to pry, so I suppose there's no better time then. How did you get your powers?
Well, obviously, doesn't run in the family. Felina actually stops herself at that.
I
Well,
construed that much.
Yeah, no,
I
your
guess I
mother does
can't
it.
say that with as much certainty as I once could, but
Huh?
that's neither here nor there. That seems like point being, I took them.
You took
Of
them?
course.
Oh, of course.
Stole them specifically.
Of course you stole them.
This would have been about 8 years ago, something like that. I was 11. Me and some other kids, back in Hellbasket, were going around, hanging out in the alleys. This was a weekend between school. And, something we like to do as kids was just, peep in windows, just like see what people were doing in their homes. And there was a basement window, and we saw some witches like from Wetwood Coven. They were
Ah,
doing a ritual in the basement. And like, that's cool. Some like shady basement witch ritual. Like obviously you're gonna watch that. And it was four of them, and they had the skull. And they were just pouring magic into it. It was floating over a cauldron, like pouring a ton and ton of magic into it. So I decided to steal it. You know,
you
it
stole
very
it.
Yeah, very simple job. I was still small enough back then. I could probably still fit through that. Had another kid go knock on the door, make it sound like cop or something. So, they were distracted. One of them goes to open the door. The other ones are sort of standing now between the door and the skull to sort of guard it. And they're not looking at the window. So when they're in, I go in quiet, dash in, grab the skull, out the window before they can grab it. And I mean, I was a kid, this was sloppy, but the whole thing was kind of an impulse. They chased me down through the streets a bit, try and, get to a rooftop, not in time, I mean, they got me dead to rights. They put a hex on me, but so I fall and I land on the skull, and it just, shatters. And I don't really remember anything after that, but from what I understand, cops show up, the witches realize the skull's broken or something, I assume, and, they just flee, never catch up with them or anything. Um, Anyways, I was unresponsive at this point, whether from the hex or from the skull. I was convulsing. I don't remember any of this. So they take me to an apothecary, tries to do some sealing magic to stop the effects of the hex or whatever the magic is, and years later, start noticing these powers.
Years later.
And I assume that's where it came from. Can't think of anything else. I don't know. It just felt right that it was related to it.
I
That's
suppose.
also where I had been right, been going through a little bit of a growth spurt then. I was hitting puberty, but slowed down. I mean, you've seen my mom. She's like, what, 9 inches taller than me. Not exactly built. I'm a bit skinny. No matter how much I eat and things, I've always been frail. Not sure if that's the hex or maybe even has something to do with the sealing spell that was put to try and counteract it, but wound up like this, weigh like 80 pounds now. Pretty sure it all came from that same event. Downsides, I guess, but hey, more pros. Even the downsides, built like this. I don't think I'd be able to get up on a rooftop as quickly as I can now if I was built like my mom.
What happened to the people you robbed? What happened to the other kids?
Other kids were fine, witches didn't care about them. They hadn't stolen anything. They were a bit too distracted trying to get the skull back, and, cops never tracked them down. I never heard anything. Figure it was a lost cause the second I broke the skull, so.
Fair point. Still, how funny is that? Between the three of us, not one of us got our powers the same way.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
funny
you two
that.
both inherited them, right?
I mean, I had to train for mine.
He had
Like
to,
all I inherited was like an aptitude for it, but that doesn't mean I was great at it.
and he wanted them.
Like I said, Ryu came from a family that didn't have slipstreamers, and yet he had a great aptitude for it. I had to work
Good
for
for
mine.
him. Good for him. But this illustrates my point. I definitely didn't know the risks going in. I didn't know how powerful these witches were. I didn't even know what I was stealing. I decided to take a gamble. Probably not one I take now, but I was 11. I was, stupid kid and live with the consequences. I made a choice, found out the consequences of that choice, and here I am.
The same could be said of Rio, though.
Exactly. That's my point. when Rio, chose to make that attempt and failed. That was his choice to do, and he definitely knew more about the risks than I did for what that's worth. It was his choice to make, and it's frankly not Hero's place to be responsible for the choice he made, even if it was a bad. And
Huh.
that doesn't mean, not absolving Ryu of being an asshole or anything. Certainly seems like to be. Could have gotten a lot of people killed. And it's certainly fine to, work against him or stop him. But my point is, you shouldn't feel guilty for not taking control of his decisions. That's your problem.
We all spend our lives thinking, what if, though? Everyone's going to be left with regrets. Not we should. We're just going to go in circles with this.
Yeah.
Alina kind of shrugs, at that. That's probably true, but, it's not something you can't practice at. I'm not
Okay.
sure if I have any regrets.
Okay. So, the carriage driver lets you all know that you're gonna be stopping. No, it's starting to become evening along the trail, and that you're gonna stop to camp out just outside of Tarrant.
Okay, well,
So
should be
should
safe.
Oh
all
boy.
Safe if
zoom
annoying. How far away from Tarrant, like, in terms of view?
You're the walls are pretty close.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of, like, look and see if there's anyone eyeing us. Not that it'd make much difference either way.
I mean, there are guards that patrol around here, but they don't mind you so much.
Okay, good. Tarrant can be a little jumpy is the problem.
Yeah.
How hard would it be to get into Tarrant?
You want to try?
Yeah.
Sure. Do you ask that to the driver or?
Yeah. First, the driver.
Yeah, the
What's
driver says, "Oh, Tarrant. It shouldn't be that hard to get in. They're doing a lot of reconstruction after what happened at the end of the war."
You don't know
Huh.
if there's a good library still intact, do you?
Tarrant has a pretty good library. Yeah, I I don't think it got damaged.
Fee to get in?
Nope. You just have to go through an inspection, I believe.
Hero leans into Angelo. Hey, Angelo. I wasn't too uh, look up to date with the war. Did Tarrant get their ass kicked?
Something to the end of the conflict, they had a little bit of a mishap, let's say.
I see.
Yeah, Felina's like, I'm gonna try and go in. I wanna do some research.
Well, it's a new sight to see. I'll
Yeah.
come with.
Sure. I mean, I don't have anything else to do. It's not like
Frankly,
I have.
I'm surprised. I thought Tarrant was locked down.
You have anything you don't want them seeing to get searched with?
They wouldn't try and take my bracer off me, would they?
Oi, oi. You
If you're
wearing
concerned
jewelry?
about it, you could leave it here, or I could put it in my bag.
Do you mind?
Don't think.
I don't quite want that taken off me.
Why would they take? Why would they take jewelry?
I think they might be wise enough to realize there's something more to this. And besides, Angelo holds up the van brace. It is like a full kind of metal gauntlet that runs from the hand up the wrist, and his.
Actually, if you want to store it, I could store it for you.
Oh, now I feel awkward. Now both of you have made the offer.
Well, mine is non-detectable.
Mine's. I have a Schrodinger's bag.
Who the hell is Schrodinger?
He was one of the smartest cats to ever live. You haven't heard of his experiments?
No. Can't say
Oh,
I
it's
have.
actually really interesting in terms of theory. I mean, they're controversial. The basic gist of his experiments is he took a human baby and would put them in a box with like, a poisoned like burger. And you
What?
didn't know if the baby ate the burger or not. So until the box was open, because these were boxes that it was impossible to get information in and out of. So until you opened the box and could see if the baby ate the poisoned burger or not, he proved that the baby had to be both alive and dead at the same time until it was observed. Really interesting stuff. I mean, you can see why it was controversial, but one of the smartest cats who ever lived. Anyways,
Who the hell thinks about putting a baby with poison in a box?
you
What a
have to
horrible
be a
man.
genius.
Scott just like scratches his head. It's a thought experiment. He didn't actually do it.
And besides, it wasn't a thought experiment that was actually done. It was a thought experiment to mock the idea of quantum mechanics.
Ah. Quantum what?
I don't know if
Can't
it was quantum
believe y'all
mechanics,
are
but it
trying
was
to
actually, but the
retcon-
experiment was actually making fun of a field.
I can't believe y'all are trying to retcon or immediately override my.
Oh wait, you didn't say that in
error
universe, or
No,
did
No,
you?
that
I
was
did.
in universe.
I said
Okay,
that
you
in
did.
universe.
Yeah, no, here was just wait, quantum what?
I was trying to do funny cat lore, and
No.
y'all are just immediately trying to
We're not
steamroll
retconning
my-
it.
No,
We're
yeah.
adding on to it. You said there was controversy. We just proved that right.
Felina was spreading misinformation.
Meanwhile, Hero is confused because there are words being thrown at him.
Anyway, I'm just going to take this and throw it up in the air, and whichever one of you catches it has the honor of hiding it, because I'm not getting in the middle of this. So, yeah,
Okay.
Angelo just like takes it and just throws it up in the air and steps away.
Hero teleports up to
Oh.
grab it.
Wait, can I roll Dex to try and end before Hero teleporting?
Sure.
I want to grab Hero and possess him.
What the fuck?
That wasn't what you asked for.
I want to do this before he teleports while he's still in reach.
Oh,
You know, I have a compromise. You
Please.
grab me and about to try and take you over. Hero teleports with you.
I want to be clear. Felina's just trying to, instead of trying to grab it herself, her immediate reaction is to just fuck up Hero's attempt to grab it.
And I'll throw you a compromise because I don't know. I think it's funnier if a hero accidentally teleports with Felina up in the air.
Okay. Can I still try and possess Hero when we teleport?
Yeah, you possess him midair.
Oh, okay. You'll just
all right,
go with.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, Felina and Hero teleport. As soon as he teleports, just is suddenly prisoner in his own body.
Nani?
Felina's now, as Felina is now also like her body is unconscious in midair, and all three of us, Felina, Hero, and the Gauntlet, all just drop to the ground.
But what the hell just happened?
I probably should have realized how competitive that would get.
And then Randall picks it up.
Felina immediately goes back to her own body and is now wincing in pain at having dropped that height.
Bilavana speaks up, just says, "I could have caught you, but I didn't."
Thanks.
Wow.
I appreciate your consideration.
Sylvana, teamwork is going to be very necessary in the coming days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ow.
and it was very considerate of her to not catch me. That would have been definitely worse.
Felina, why did
I
you
am
do
the one who
that?
just made you two fight, but never mind.
Felina, why did you just do that?
Why did you teleport? It was a competition.
Yes?
Exactly.
I was using my ability to catch it.
And I was using my ability to block you.
Huh. Okay,
It's
I can't
like
argue with that. I can't
Yeah,
argue with that.
Exactly.
God damn it. God damn it, Felina got something right for once. God damn it. Well,
I
who...
also like do just appreciate like just immediately with fully the inevitable like unintentional utter disrespect for Angelo's like gauntlet vambrace that was just shown of letting it just
Oh.
drop on the ground.
Oh, actually,
It's fine. The thing
meanwhile...
is indestructible.
Oh, actually, while Felina just... Hero goes, God damn it, God... He also just grabs the gauntlet. Felina is being, yeah, yeah. It's like, but I win.
It wasn't meant... Actually, I suppose it was a thing that could be won. I don't think it's fair to say that either of you are the winner with a display like that.
Yeah, no, that was
But I cooked a gauntlet.
It's about decorum.
The what?
Let's just go into Tarrant.
Fine. I'm
Okay.
storing the gauntlet in my little void pocket. Actually, do I need to roll to? No, I only need to roll
there's no
when.
bombs in there this time, are there?
No,
that was so funny.
there are no bombs. There are no.
It's empty right now, isn't it?
I think it is. Yes.
Alrighty.
Oh wait, was there a gun?
Why would there be a gun?
I don't know. No, I don't think there was.
No, I know why, because Dingo, and I was like, keep his gun in there, but that was ages ago.
That was before
Oh, yeah,
the bomb.
that was before the
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm just storing the gauntlet in there. Just when you need it, just tell me.
I would have that marked in a special
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Let me just make sure I can actually just make sure. Shop fault crowd controls. Wait, where the fuck is it? Where the fuck is the skill?
What do you mean? Where's the skill?
Oh, it's slipstream sending. Okay, there we go. I just make sure. But
This
yeah,
is
I'm.
sending me.
Oh, speaking of glove, I forgot I had wind rammers.
Windrammer?
Yeah.
Live like a windrammer as you fuck?
No, the gloves that makes me go north.
Oh.
Slip. There we go. Because it is like still later than 2 weight, right? Like it's 2 lighter.
The Instruct with Vambrace, that is 1 weight.
Good.
Vambrace.
Good, it's nice. Stored nice in there. I could probably store Felina in there.
There is a move that makes it so that bodies you pick up are 1 weight.
Yeah.
If you had that, then yeah, you could pick up people and then put them in the slipstream space. It'd be like a Pokeball, but for people.
Fuck, true. And that's Felina's Schrodinger's bag is also that's the rule, it has to be 1 weight. But she can also shrink things down to 1 weight. But
what if you put someone into the bag and Hero takes the bag and puts it in his storage?
I think that's the weirdest ability Felina has that I don't think anyone knows except maybe Scott knows that she has, that she can shrink things.
You could just put people in a sack.
No, not people. You
Yeah,
have to be the Krampus to do people.
Oh, yeah.
It has to be an inanimate object. So she could kill them first, but that's limiting,
Now I'm just thinking of... Oh, Christ. Oh, damn it. I'm just thinking of the old, TG thread where they, started characterizing Death as just some guy who, walked around with a bag that he would shove people in. Death just getting annoyed, just get in the fucking sack.
I like that take on death, yeah.
Okay, so you head up to the Terran guards. Yeah, they pretty much just ask, all right, name.
Who's first?
I figured it would be you.
Hmm. Full name or just
Full name, city of origin.
Helena Katrina Skimperbell Terrebonne?
Terrebonne. All right. You looking at
Angelo
Angela.
Angelo Elgado, Terrebonne.
All right. Terrebonne again, and you also Terrebonne.
No, Hiro Hasegawa, Island of Anuk.
Ano-
Anot.
I thought it was Anna.
Anot, yeah. I
Anna.
forgot.
Anna. All right. All right. You're all gonna submit to a search right now. Make
Huh?
sure you're not carrying anything dangerous.
Well, let's see. I'm carrying stuff.
How do you know if it's dangerous?
We have our guides.
I have a bag of books, and they say a little knowledge is a dangerous thing.
What if I'm carrying a child? Do you like have a way to tell if the child is gonna be like a problem child? What if the child's dangerous?
I think
Like
this
how
guard
can
should
you
just
tell?
turn us away.
Yeah, no, like as soon as he
Two
heard,
out of
what if
three
I...
of us said we're from Terrebonne. That alone should be
Yeah.
like instant.
Oh yeah,
Wait,
I left my staff on the carriage.
Alrighty.
is it actually all of them? I was thinking, is it just the three of us, or was there anyone else? Just Silvana too, but any more?
Yeah,
I think,
Sylvana's no, Sylvana stayed back, I'd say.
yeah.
Oh, and
What about... I forget,
Scott,
is Randall with us?
I think he stayed behind too.
yeah.
Oh no.
We'll say
Randall is gonna get beaten up by Sylvanas.
Scott showed up. We'll say Scott came with.
Oh.
One NPC pet.
There
One,
you
I
go.
mean,
Alright, Selena is cleared. Da-da-da. See. Did you leave the storm orb behind?
I was gonna ask about that. I think it'd be funny if I did bring it, but also slow us down dramatically. I don't know. It could be a fun scene. Say Angelo forgot to he didn't quite want to leave that on the carriage because he doesn't fully trust the carriage driver.
Hmm.
Could have actually just
Left
given.
it with Sylvana. I feel
That's
like she could handle.
that's the point. I trust Sylvana not to break the storm orb. But no, yeah, Angelo just I'd say Angelo had kind of forgotten about that. He had forgotten he was carrying a weapon of mass destruction in his pockets.
So yeah, they stop and they look. What on earth is this?
Oh, that's
Felina, I just want to say, Felina seeing that just looks at that for a moment, then, just from behind the guards, looks at Angelo like the office character mugging for the camera or something, just staring at Angelo.
that is a trinket.
What kind of trinket?
Well, look, it's got these two little tornadoes in it, and they circle one another. It's like a desk ornament. I'm currently without a desk.
Yeah, they raise an eyebrow and they look at it further. There's an energy coming off this thing.
Energy comes off all things.
So you're saying this is a desk ornament?
Yes.
Well, do you mind if we get someone to look at it?
It would create more problems if I said no, wouldn't it?
It would.
Then I suppose someone had better look at it.
All right, we'll go get our magic guy. Meanwhile, search the other one. And yeah, he goes to take the orb, and he's gonna go have it inspected.
Oh,
Are we out of
great.
earshot of any of the guards for a minute?
Yeah.
So Neo,
Felina
there.
just like raises a hand and counting on her fingers. Scott, Sullivanna, you, Hero, Randall. You've been bumped down a position.
I would be offended if your regard for me meant much.
Wait, what did you say? I
I'm
didn't
proud
catch
of you for that.
what was the listing? It was
Scott, Sullivanna, Angelo, Hero, Randall.
Randall is last.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Hey, if you had never stolen that, I wouldn't have it, so...
Felina
end up.
laughs at that.
Are we gonna end up in trouble because of Elena again?
No, because of me.
Yeah, but indirectly by Felina.
I mean, if you want to place the blame that far back.
Maybe it's
Well,
all
I'm
both. Maybe it's everyone's little blame. You know, Hero didn't stop you. You know, he feels bad about this. He could have stopped you.
Have I just handed Tarrant a super weapon?
You might have just handed Tarrant a super weapon.
Oh, shit.
I'm really impressed, Hero, that we just had a conversation about, I mean, I certainly was arguing that your problem is feeling guilty and responsible for the choices other people's made that you shouldn't be responsible for their choices. And now you are immediately taking guilt and responsibility for what Angelo has just done. Like, I'm impressed. I was considering briefly Angelo actually getting bumped below you in the ranking, but no, yeah, he's safe where he is at least now.
They're not...
Thanks?
They can't take that off me. That's a family heirloom, that desk ornament.
Well, to be fair, do you like your family?
Well, no, and I may not even be carrying their name, but intrinsically... My father probably stole that from someone else. Not in the same methods Felina might. He probably did it through coercion and rigor, but...
No, I like to think that Case Lombard just punched the guy and stole his ran off.
I feel like a family heirloom has to be, like, given to you by your family. Not like, I mean, unless you're considering us, including me, your family, which is, very sweet, but like...
I mean it in the classical sense, in that it's an heirloom that belonged to my family.
Yeah.
So they come back, and they approach you, Angelo, and say, "Angelo, was it?
Yes.
Are you aware that your desk ornament is packing more elemental energy than should be possible in an object that small?"
Well, no wonder I'm such a dynamo at work.
Yeah, I can vouch for him. He sure is dynamo at work.
Do you know what that word means?
Sure.
Which one of us are you asking?
Translator's note. Hero does not know.
Maybe I
Angelo
should
doesn't
be
actually
asking
know what it
both of
means
you.
either. He's just heard
Yeah,
the term
Felina
phrase.
does sort of mutter. Actually, maybe I should have been asking both of you.
Okay. You said you were from Terrebonne. Do you have your city identification?
We have identification in Terrebonne?
They do give that out there, I'm pretty sure.
No, I mean I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't because I've been to Have you been to Terrebonne, sir? They don't do much.
I understand that you're from Tarrant and this city is quite rigorous in its way of life, but it's kind of a wilderness out there. You kind of have to experience Terrebonne to understand these things.
What were you planning to do with that?
Put it on desk. I think that's... They have a very limited series of applications. They're decorative.
I do like the idea that it's an orb, and he's like, it's a paperweight, the worst possible shape for a paperweight. I mean, it's a very Terrebone thing to do to use an orb as a paperweight, in fairness. It is selling the fiction of where he's from.
Well, here's the thing, Angelo. You're not having that back.
I'm sorry?
It's far too dangerous for anyone to be walking around with inside the city walls.
Then give
Okay,
it back
we'll
to
leave
me
it at
and
our
I will
cart.
take it outside the city walls.
And what will you do with it?
Frankly, that's none of your concern at this point. I can promise at the very least that whatever function it may have will not be used against this city.
And like, I know you guys might not leave the city much, but they do have both desks and papers outside of Tarrant. Like, y'all didn't invent that, you know. There are uses for a paperweight outside of the city.
Bullshit.
So you're gonna want that back. Roll charisma.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. May I assist him?
How so?
Well, Hero's vouching for him. He's a good guy.
What does your word mean to them, though?
I am a...
It's the first time I've ever heard that line of questioning on a system. It's going, what does your word mean to them, though?
It's a good question. It's very funny. I'm a big fan
if I
of
was
it.
O'Malley... No, actually, O'Malley wouldn't pay for...
I think I'm on my own on this one. I think... It's a shame that I'm going to have to destroy this city to get that orb back.
Elena could kind of lawyer this to help. Oh, it wouldn't have mattered.
I got a 7. All right.
Oh, by the way, have we healed up since last time, or has it not quite been? Oh no, wait, I am healed.
Yeah,
I'm an idiot.
Healed up.
Oh,
Should I remove
yeah.
Shaky, Neil?
Oh,
no.
yeah, because it was the next day.
No. No, you said no?
Do not remove Shaky.
Okay.
Listen,
Can't do it.
Listen. As far as I was aware, that is an ornament. I don't have an ID because, well, not every city is run quite so to the clocks as this place is. But
actually, wait, I assume I don't need to spout lore to know. Is that like a thing that does Felina have ID?
You do.
Okay, that is a real thing. All right.
I mean, you could sync me right now by producing that, but
oh yeah, no, Felina's not going to.
So look, I have no intention of if I had ill intentions, would I have walked up and produced it and let you inspect it?
Well, you've got us there. Alright. Tell you what.
For that matter, I would like to point out, if we weren't from Terrebone, why would we say we were from Terrebone, of all cities?
Tell you what. We'll let you have it back and walk it outside the city. But if we catch you with it inside the city walls, you're coming with us.
That's only fair.
Alright. Yeah.
Does he have to walk? What if he runs it outside the city? That'd be getting it away faster.
We've won. You don't have to go for a victory lap.
I don't have to do anything. I want to do the things I do. I don't have to do them. Angelo.
You the orb back.
And I take it back to the cart and I give it to Sylvana and just
Nice.
Could you keep an eye on this?
Yeah, she nods. It's like, all right.
Yeah.
He's just sitting opposite of Randall back at the cart.
Oh, don't let him touch it.
Don't worry.
Okay.
I'll
Thank you.
Fuck! I'm so glad Felina wasn't there to hear this comment.
He just got out of the circus. He might try juggling with it.
That thing has already been juggled.
Yeah, but we doesn't mean we risk it again. The demon core killed 2 people.
Felina is absolutely someone who would die because of the demon core.